Hi folks, I'm Arleigh, aka Bike Shop Girl, and in today's video, I want to share with you the basics of getting started with the Bosch Intuvia display and controller. This is the Intuvia display in the center of your handlebars, and on the left side of your handlebars, you'll find the controllers to use while you are riding. This is a removable display. Make sure it is slid in all the way and snapped into position before you turn it on. The very first thing we're going to do is turn our bike on. I like to tell folks that your bike is on, but not in drive. So we need to turn the assistance on. You add or subtract assistance with the plus and minus button on your left-hand controller. You'll have the off mode, eco, tour, sport, and turbo. In the United States and Canada, when you turn your bike on, it starts in the off position. In Europe, when you turn your bike on, it will be left in the assistance position that you had it in before you turn the bike off. The plus and minus button will definitely be the most used controls on your system. The next popular thing you're going to be pushing a lot is the info button. There's two locations for this button. The first one is on your controller, and then the other one is on your actual display. They do exactly the same thing. They allow you to scroll through different function options. So we have the time, we have our max speed since the last time you reset, your average speed since the last reset, your trip time since the last reset, your range, giving you the estimated battery range specific to which mode you are in. So as I go up in assistance, you'll see that my range will go down. Continuing to scroll through your info, you have your odometer, the trip distance since the last reset, and then we're back to the time. Personally, I leave it on the battery range 99% of the time, unless I'm running late and really need to see the clock. Okay, if this is benefiting you at all, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. The other thing I personally like to do is hit reset anytime I recharge my battery. So I get a sense of my trip distance per battery charge. Now you have to reset in a couple of different ways, but you need to know that if you reset your trip distance, time, and average speed, those things go together. And then resetting your max speed and the range for your battery have to do separately. So let's show you how to reset any of those things. First, I'm going to switch to my max speed. On my display, there's a reset button. I'm just going to hold it down until it goes to 0. Now my average speed, do the same thing. You'll see my trip time has been reset. And then to reset my battery range, I'm going to just hold down reset until I see the little lines come up. Now the next thing a lot of people like to know is how to operate your lights. The light button turns your lights on and off. So we have it right on our display. Turn it off, turn it on. This is very dependent if you have lights on your bike and if they are programmed to be turned on. Some bikes are going to be turned on permanently. It draws such a low power that I'm a big fan of this. So if your bike turns on, your lights turn on. If you don't like this, you can ask your dealer to reprogram it where you have to manually turn on and off your lights. It's also worth mentioning that if you have a bike that you've added lights to at a dealer, they're going to have to turn on that option that your lights can be activated. The next really cool thing about Bosch bikes is that there is a walk function for most Bosch bikes if it's programmed to have that option. This function essentially allows the motor to assist your bike while you are walking next to it. This way you don't have to push your heavy e-bike so hard up the hills. To make the walk function work, you must be in a mode. So this does not work in the off position. I'm going to go to Tour. You're going to tap the walk button that is hiding at the top of your controller, and Walk Assist Plus comes on your screen. It quickly goes away, but when it's on your screen, you're going to hold that plus button. As long as you're holding this plus button, it will be pushing your bike forward. If you let go, the assistant stops, and then you have to hit walk and the plus button again. Now those are the key functions of getting started with Intuvia. Before you go, let's quickly talk about this display. It's super important, it's super expensive, and we want to take care of it. It is removable by pressing a tab on the back. First, you want to make sure your bike is powered off. And then be careful because the tab can be broken. This is from personal experience. You can put a screw into the back of the display and hard mount it into this mounting harness, but it is not my personal preference as I've seen them broken off and stolen. Once you've removed it, keep the screen and your back contacts from being scratched or worn. I personally keep mine in a separate pocket or pouch from anything else. There are specially designed pouches from companies like Farer that you can carry around to help with this. When you put the display back on, make sure it is on all of the way. It might feel like it's clicked in, you press the power button, everything looks great, but you go to hit the plus button and nothing happens. Hit that power button off, wait for it to turn off, click it in all of the way, hit your power button, let it connect. You saw the lights went on. It says Active Line Plus, meaning it connected to my motor. And now I know it's working. I've seen too many people stranded because they didn't connect their display all the way, or they turned it on before connecting it all the way and they think their bike is broken. Turn off the display, fully connect it, turn it back on, and it should fix the problem. If it doesn't, it's because typically the contacts are worn on the back of the display. Right here, I've seen them rub off because of rubbing against keys or phones in somebody's bag or pocket. I've also seen the contacts on the display harness wear down. As I mentioned at the beginning, these do have a rechargeable battery. Typically, you don't need to charge it. I have bikes that have never need charged in years. But if you take it off or take your battery off and leave the display on the bike in a cold garage, there is a chance the little battery in there will need recharged in the morning from the cold and lack of extra battery charge. So take it off or leave it on your bike, either way, and find the little port on the side. And you're gonna recharge it using a little micro SD right there. This display is weatherproof, but don't submerge it. If it gets super hot or super cold, the crystals inside will kind of freak out. So I just get in the habit, if I lock up my bike, I take the display with me. But as you're riding, it will work just fine. We're gonna get into the weeds of this display and settings. This isn't for everyone. If you just want to get started with Intuvia, you can stop the video right here. But if you want to change the time, change from kilometers to miles, these settings are where you're going to find it. To enter the area, you can change settings. You're going to hold the info and reset button. The word configuration should pop up. It's worth noting that you can do all of this either with your display on the bike or off, so that you don't have to sit on the bike like I am to figure it all out. A dealer can also do it quickly anytime that you have your bike in for service or an update. So the main settings I need to change for customers include updating the clock. You'll see that there is a minus and plus button. You can either do the power and light button, or you can use your controller to plus and minus. Do not change your wheel circumference. You can change your language and then your units. So right now I'm in America, so I'm set to miles per hour. You can change the time format from 24 or 12. And then the shift recommendation on or off is interesting. If you're a newer rider and you're still getting used to when to shift your e-bike, you might want to turn this on. Now, within this area, you can also see which software you are currently using, your display software, your drive unit, the serial numbers and part numbers. All of those things are typically not needed unless you need some sort of warranty or service. But I know folks like to check which software they're using to make sure that their display and specifically their motor and battery have the most up-to-date software. To get out of this setting section, we're going to press the reset and info button one more time. Now, that's all I can think about sharing for the Intuvia. Please let me know if you have any questions or I missed something in the comments below. If you found this content helpful, click that like button below. And if you want more content about empowering daily life by bike, make sure to hit subscribe. All right, until next time, stay well, stay good, and remember, bike more and worry less.